October, and basically it's beginning to sound like a sing song every time I introduce the show like that. But yeah, that's our reality in River State. And just up until recently, this month, the month of May, the fight, took a new level. Some would say, some observers would say, or maybe I should say, what I've observed, like some people, is that the governor was taking a passive situation, and it was even referenced by a former commissioner for justice. I'm talking about Professor Zaccheaus Adango. That the governor in public looked as if he was seeking peace, and so I'm just going to end my reference there. But yeah, it was taking the peaceful approach to it. But recently we've seen the governor go on some offensive moves. For instance, when the governor came out to say jungle don't mature. And so we have then seen since that time he no longer recognized the Martin Amaewhule led assembly. He also decided to recognize the Victor Okujumbo led assembly, and the talking point seemed to have been excavated. The political conversation seemingly excavated, and now the focus in many quarters has been on the commissioners that were sworn in recently by the Victor Okujumbo led assembly. And also we've been forced to go back to the what is it called now? We've been forced to go back to even the Edison Eye led assembly at some point, where the budget was submitted to that assembly. So interestingly, I came across something on YouTube, and I believe it was the same event, I think we talked about it on Friday, the same event where the local government chairman of Ikwere local council did say that he would not leave office. I think we played that soundbite, yeah, we did, right? He would not leave office up until, the law done by the Martin Amaewhule led assembly no longer exists. Of course, I think it gave them an extension of 6 months thereabout if the RISEC fails to conduct local government elections. And there is this river stakeholder, can I call him that, who was at that event, who had something to say about what really is transpiring in River State. I'm going to play a soundbite. You take a listen. Where is it now?
Governor Dariye was impeached, and the matter from High Court, Court of Appeal, and they went to Supreme Court. In order for them to forcibly impeach Dariye, they removed 14 of his assembly members that are loyal to him. It was just remaining 10. Out of that 10, they casted their vote in assembly. 8 voted in favor of removal of Dariye. When the matter went to Supreme Court and the Constitution of Nigeria was interpreted, that the framers of this Constitution said to top majority is only what is applicable and what is approved. And the intended member, those who drafted the Constitution, never intended a situation whereby only 8 persons will carry out an impeachment of a governor. Based on that, the Supreme Court of Nigeria said that impeachment will not stand, that is null and void. For a commissioner to be successfully screened, the Constitution provided one proviso, and which is a simple majority, which is about 11 or 12 of them, will be the one to screen a commissioner to be confirmed by the assembly. Anything is a commissioner. 3 persons cannot screen a commissioner. That is not intended or the intent of those who drafted the Constitution. So anything other than that is what? Illegality. Is If they are hoping that 3 people will screen them to be caretaker, it will fall inside the pit. It never worked. One man cannot keep on disrespecting the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And today, we are calling on the whole world, Nigeria as a whole, to notice the illegality that is going on in Rivers State. If all of us will keep on disrespecting the Constitution, then we are running a banana republic as a country. I call on the President of Nigeria to take care, because he's sworn to an oath to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We will never go outside the Constitution of the Federal Republic. Whoever that is daring, directly or indirectly, in doing things based on his own, that he's a strong man, you have faith, because the Constitution is what is called the grand norm, and then the grand norm is why we are existing. Any Constitution made by Rivers State that is against the grand norm, which is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 79 and amended in 1999, whatever you are doing that is against that law, to the extent, will be declared null and void. Thank you.
All right, so you just listened to James Amadi, a PDP chieftain, or should I say PDP stakeholder, or Rivers stakeholder, which one suits better. And he has had a say on the very much talked about political situation in Rivers State, and he also made references to previous judgments, previous happenings, and how the Constitution says to third majority, and right now the current Victor Oko-Jumbo, or the Victor Oko-Jumbo led assembly, do not meet up to third majority. Now some people say, we've heard arguments on the show, several lawyers, right, and they've argued and they've said, it's not 2/3 because some people vacated their seats, and so what we have left is what we will work with. Or are we saying that the legislative arm of government should not be functional because some people vacated their seats? That has been one argument, right? Another argument has been that the matters are in court. However, we've had several interpretations of what is ongoing or going on in Rivers State. The local government chairman, you had Samuel Wanasike, Dr. Samuel Wanasike the other time, saying it would not leave and it was going to stick by the law as made by the Martin Amaewhule-led assembly. And I want to believe he's speaking on behalf of so many or some other local government chairman in Rivers State. I also want to look at the position of the police in this. And I do remember I had a conversation with the former PRO of the police in Rivers State. And she made it clear that it's a difficult position for the police, because the police would have to look at the law as made by Martin Amaewhule and see if there's a legal back into it. And if there is, it's also going to look at the other argument, and the police is supposed to not take sides, and the police is supposed to play by the books. And I wonder how the police would do this. Now remember, some 2 Fridays ago, I believe, when there was the talk about demolishing the House of Assembly residential quarters, and then we saw police vans, and we wondered what role the police was going to play as it relates to the political drama or political imbroglio that was going to play out, at that vicinity. And of course, we saw the statement by the police at the time, and the police attempted, a neutral stance in that political drama. Some of you might not agree with that, but that's what they attempted to do. So I'm also wondering what the police would do. Would the police go with the law as made by Martin Amaewhule? INEC has played one of the safest roles in this drama, and that is just waiting for the courts to do what they have to do. In Kano State over the weekend, or was it last week, the reinstallation of Sanusi as Emir of Kano, and Ado Bayero insisting that it's illegal, even got a court order restraining the installation of Sanusi as Emir. And the police say, no, we're going to And then, so there was that clash. There was that a bit of confusion in Kano State. Even the NSA was dragged into that mix, right? And then you're thinking, how is the police going to handle all of this thing? Because the police is saddled with the duty of ensuring that it maintains peace and stability and protects the lives and properties of the citizens of River State. So I'm wondering, and I want you to wonder with me. I want you to wonder with me, because the way some people are sounding, I mean, if you listen to James and Mary, it looks like they are going to stand by the opinion that they have. And what is that opinion? And the opinion is that there is a Martin Amaewhule-led assembly law that is going to extend the administration of local government chairmen if there are no local government elections in River State. Also, I think it was Chidi Lloyd, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, on my show a few weeks ago, and said that there is a court order also restraining the River State government from withholding their pay, withholding their entitlements, and that has been re-echoed by Honorable Imo Ugochiere, who has said that the local government chairmen are looking at using the back door to get a court injunction to stop the River State government from not paying them after the administration is done next month. Even me presenting it is confusing, because I'm wondering, what terminologies do I use? Should I say their tenure is ending next month, or it's confusing for even me? But that's the conversation we have right now. You must have listened to James and Maddie. What do you make of that? What do you make of that? That's my first question. What do you make of that? How do you think the police should handle this? That's my second question. There is the possibility of I no go agree, and then there is a battle, and there is some kind of fight. What can the federal government do to forestall that kind of situation? Because I remember Goodluck Jonathan saying how important River State is to national economy and national development. I've got a commercial coming up. When I do come back, I ask some few more questions, and then I open the phone lines. To stay tuned.
Get ready.
right now. I am Kalako Rubatbo. This is Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info. I've asked a couple of questions. Oh, and one more question. I was going to ask, what can the federal government do, to ensure that this does not become escalated or does not escalate and goes beyond the control, and becomes a monster that bites everybody around, right? Because if it does, it will affect the economy, or should I say economics, in Nigeria. It will also affect oil production. Okay, that's still under the economy, but then again, basically, River State will be in for it in terms of development and all. So how do we ensure this does not happen, right? What can the federal government do to ensure this does not happen? I think there was someone who was speaking yesterday, one on Novo, who made mention of the fact that the federal government would have to step in before this battle will end. After all, but the FCT minister and the governor are pledging allegiance to the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I want to get your thoughts. But basically, do you think having autonomy, because we talked about this during the big stories, do you think having autonomy for local government will solve all of these problems? Because every one time we play politics, instead of us to look at development, would we stop playing politics? Would we not do the right thing? This is my point. This is my view. If we have local governments with autonomy, it means that the people can hold them directly. Now, if the people hold them and say, we did not receive the right allocations, right? So the people can hold them directly for the underdevelopment of local governments across the country. If the local government chairmen are no longer under the direct control of the governors, it means the governors would also have to up the ante and improve on development, which means that what will save governors will no longer be political structures, but would be how well did he work, right? How well did he work? And governors would not be as strong, as they are now. And maybe a lot of powers will fall down to local administrators, local government chairmen, which may not necessarily be a bad thing, which may also be a risky thing, depending on how you look at it. And also, if the governors are working hard, then we will not all be depending on allocation that comes in at the end of every month. So these are some of the things I'm looking at. So how do you think it will impact the development of River State if we, talk about full local government, or not? I don't know what we mean by full, but local government autonomy, basically. 08179230002, 08192300003, 08192300007. WhatsApp number 08090306416. But basically, what do you make about what James Amadi did say? I mean, he's also of the PDP. He's also a stakeholder in the political arena, the political scene in River State. What do you make of his comment? I'd like to hear from you. I play it again when we come back. I think we do have a break, but let's take calls now. Victor is calling me from, I think, Kalabo. Is it Rumola? Okay, Rumola now. Okay, let's take Victor. Victor, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Okay, Canada. You see, if this local government autonomy law can be well implemented, it will really help us get governance in the local government area.
Okay.
And I am happy that the federal government has set the case at the Supreme Court. Give or take, if between now and the end of the week or first week of June, the Supreme Court can come out with a statement. That statement will become binding. And then the allocations will no longer be held by government. It will now go straight to the local government chairman. And if you say accountability, the same way the governors are going to be checkmated by the EFCC and other financial accountability institutions, it's the same way the local government chairman will be checkmated. So there is nothing like how are they going to use it. If we're asking how they're going to use it, we also ask how are the governors using the allocation to the state, especially the security votes.
All right.
So for me, let it just go. And for River State condition, I think that with what we are seeing, if the federal government if the Supreme Court give a judgment, and the other appeal court which sustains the judgment by the federal court, the lawmakers who they have said they have sit at the gap will return. And therefore, every law they have made extending local government powers will stand.
All right.
And if the governor tries to do otherwise, they will send military and police vans to block all the local government centers, and the money will be going straight to the chairman. So the governor will be powerless, and there will be peace in the state.
Oh, okay. I wonder where you're painting that picture from, but I've got Promise from Gukana. Promise, please turn up your radio set. Welcome, Promise. Quickly, let's hear your thoughts.
Yes. I think the issue you're analyzing now, particularly in River State, is something that we all need to find a common solution to it.
Okay.
One thing I've observed is that when one thing happens and it favors a particular set of people, they will praise it and justify it. But when it happens to the other set of people, they will say it's bad. I remember before the tenure of the previous administration ended, the nine National Assembly, we are looking at local government autonomy. And I understand that the governor is fighting it. Today, most of those governors have finished as governor. They are ministers or one to the other. And they are now looking forward to implement local government autonomy. And see, people will begin to reference that when they were there, they did this. Now, why can't we do this? The bottom line is that there's no time when the right thing is wrong to be done.
Okay.
Local government autonomy is something that we all need to support, irrespective of who is a victim now or who is in charge. Because tomorrow another person will come in, and the person who is the governor will also want that local government autonomy.
Okay.
So it is something that is good for our democracy.
All right. Then.
Because it will strengthen the local government council and also empower the councillors at that level to also segment the chairman.
All right.
Just like the assemblies are doing to the governors and national assembly to the president.
All right, Promise, I've got to go. Thank you very much for your time. Andy from Rukpoku, welcome. Andy, what's on your mind, please?
Yeah, Kalada, good evening.
Yeah, greetings.
Kalada, there is something we have failed to understand in this whole thing.
Okay.
If you ask me, my opinion.
All right.
For example, we know that the executive is the number one arm of God.
Is there a number one? Is there a number one really?
Kalada, of course.
No, the constitution.
We were taught in government.
Before
you count anything, you must say executive.
No. Can I come in? There is nowhere in the constitution where it says number one. There's the executive. The constitution says 3 arms of government. It didn't say there is a number one. It said 3 arms of government. There is the executive, there is the legislative, and there's the judiciary. None is above any other. They all have their roles.
Okay, Kalada,
let's get that right.
Which one do you start first from? See, we have numerically. You have to call the executive.
So let me ask you a question: Can the executive function without the laws made by the legislative arm of government?
Not at all.
So my point is there. So my point, there is no number one. So let's just get that straight so we don't mislead people.
Kalada, what I'm saying in essence is the executive is in charge.
Okay.
As far as the executive is in charge, no doubt about it. Okay, for example, they say that the governor is masquerading himself, doing all sort of things that are not in the constitution.
Okay.
Just like what he has narrated, and we have all. Don't also forget that the poorer side has also their own interpretation of the law.
Interesting. True.
Are you getting me? So
yeah,
what is expected of any man who has reverse power? Just like the governor and other of his cronies are piping down and taking things easy. If you listen to the both sides, this side is always violent. Chief the Lord has come violently. One of TK has come violently.
When you say violently, have they
when I mean violently,
acted in violence?
Words that are not supposed to be said.
Okay.
My people said it's not when somebody uses a knife on you.
Okay.
That is when the person has killed you. No.
All right.
Somebody can use a mouth to kill you. So what I'm saying in essence is the law is there. Yes, the governor is doing something wrongly. and he has been taken to court. He is in charge of the state. Why not they wait?
But when you say he's in charge of the state, do you also know that the legislators are also in charge of the state? I want us to do.
I had never said so. What I'm saying in essence, there is a contention.
Okay.
That the defected House of Assembly members that they have lost their seats. Have you forgotten that?
But so we're waiting. Andy, now you see that's where we're going back to the Constitution: innocent until proven guilty, right? So
exactly. But now constitutionally, the governor does not have any issue.
Okay.
He's in charge.
But you still don't get the point. If we say innocent until proven guilty, that means they are innocent until you prove otherwise. That's what your Constitution says.
Hold on. Finally, what I'm saying is yes, they are right in their own side.
Okay.
Why Governor Fubana's people, they are right in their own side.
I agree.
So what we are saying is, do your own. Let's do your own. But constitutionally, let's say the truth. As far as they have lost their seats,
we're going back to we have lost their seats, and only the courts can determine if they lost their seats or not.
That's what I'm telling you. Fubana side will tell you. So what we're saying is, when the time comes for you to vacate office, go and relax until the court decides on that aspect too.
Okay, all right.
Because one, you cannot tell the governor that that they have himself alone.
Andy,
and now you're saying that they are House of Assembly members, so no issue about this. The side are right. But for now, the governor said, I will not take you people. There is no wrong about it. So what you have to do is you have to relax, go to court, and when the court has issued the opposite of what the governor is talking about,
Andy, I want to ask you one question. When they took Fubara to court, did he vacate his seat? Some people ask that question, so I said I should ask you as well.
That is what I am telling you, but don't be surprised that this one is different because the governor is seated already. The House of Assembly members are seated already.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Okay.
So you have your own interpretation. This other side has their interpretation, but the law is that the judiciary will interpret. But for now that the judiciary hasn't interpreted, my brother, everybody should take their own. But please, when your time comes to vacate office, you have to vacate because that is what the Constitution has said.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andy. Wonderful, passionately arguing his point, and I do like that. Chief K, greetings. I think we have a court order or judgment that says the law passed by the former lawmakers led by Martins is null and void based on the 1999 Constitution. Don't forget that they were sworn in by a 3-year constitution. Kelechi K. Onwebiko from Oibo. Then he went ahead to say the local government chairman must go. There is a court order or judgment on that. No state assembly has such power based on the 1999 Constitution. This LG chairman was sworn in by Constitution with 3 years in office. So we'll get to that. Let's see. This one says local government full autonomy is the best thing that will happen to Nigeria. It will skyrocket development. Okay, I'm running against time. And this one says, good afternoon or good evening, Mr. K. Batubo. Seeking local government autonomy by the federal government is a step in the right direction because the local government autonomy is long overdue. The autonomy of local government will automatically bring in development to the local government areas that support the local government autonomy. Owanate Clinton West. And for Ernest, I don't think I can read your message. I would have to go for the commercial. When I do come back, we'll talk some more to stations.